The championship may be over, but the racing certainly isn't. In the Formula Regional Middle East Championship, we still have two great battles ahead of us here on Sunday, the final day here at Dubai Autodrome, and there are plenty of racing still to come with a lot of good battles on the horizon. And for Emerson Fittipaldi Jr. and MP Motorsport, this is the opportunity they've been waiting for. From pole position, they finally have a chance to change their fortunes and bow out of this very tough championship on a high note. But there's also going to be an interesting challenge from Taylor Barnard. Just because he's lost the championship, that doesn't mean he's lost his motivation and his fire. From third position on the grid, he's definitely one to watch to try and take one final victory away from this contest. So let's find out who's who and how they're going to fare. There's an end-of-term atmosphere at Dubai Autodrome as the Formula Regional Middle East Championship draws to a close. And even without the championship ramifications, there are several battles yet to be concluded amongst the starting lineup. Tuukka Tarpanen is the new champion, clinching the drivers' and teams' titles for Race GP yesterday, with Zachary David assisting him in the process. Jesse Carrasquedo is still working hard to catch up with his teammates, and Kanato Lee adapted well as a new boy last weekend and in Race 1 yesterday. Mumbai Falcons shot up to second in the standings after Yas Marina thanks to the win for Rafael Kamara and the podium finishes for Ugo Chukwu and James Wharton. The squad may have lost the chance to defend the team's title for 2024, but both Kamara and Wharton are competing for third in the drivers' race. The PHM AIX squad are still hopeful for a win or two before the season's end, and Taylor Barnard is in full send mode, as is the usual modus operandi for the Englishman. Brando Badua and Taz Interfuvazak are still quick and could grab some more silverware, whilst Luduki is getting closer to the podium every weekend. Marty Boyer and Pinnacle still have statements to make, as the Spaniard bids to catch Kamara for third, whilst Giovanni Mascio and Alexander Abkasava are now deserved point scorers following great battles last week. And now that Finley Green is almost fully recovered from appendicitis, all four drivers want to bow out strong. Last week, MP Motorsport really ran the gauntlet, as Bruno Del Pino was robbed of a maiden win with suspension failure whilst leading, and Nicol Bora's tyres faded too rapidly for a fight for victory. Both men, along with Emerson Fittipaldi Jr. and Isaac Barashi, are hoping that they can finally drop the bad luck and win races the way they deserve to. After an epic couple of races at the start of the year, reality has set in for Santalok, who is still new at the Formula Regional game. But Teofil Nahar still has the speed to turn in a good showing, and both Enzo Peugeot and Jose Garfias were in positive form last weekend, and will be keen to leave the UAE with some silverware to carry home. Evans GP were the feel-good team of the paddock at round 4, as Costa Taparis stormed to a fabulous podium in race 1. Now that the team have shaken off their early woes, it's the hope that both John Bennett and Edgar Pierre can join the Australian in the points-paying positions, as all three men are able to mix it with the best of them. The XL Motorsport team is still having a terrific run as rookies in Formula Regional, and Noah Lyles spent much of the last 2 weekends dueling with the championship contenders. The potential is certainly there, and if Yaroslav Veselaho is able to match him for pace in the early part of the weekend, the team should end the year with more points. Finally, the team from R&B Racing celebrated Chinese New Year at Yas Marina with more speed and determination than ever before. But the challenge will be extreme if Gao Yujia and Wang Shongwei are hopeful to score points before the season concludes. Yujia is the best placed, and his ever-improving racecraft could be enough to seal the deal. And we talked a little bit about the MP Motorsport team needing a little bit of a boost for this particular end of the season. Well, they've got the perfect tonic to go into race number 2. After finishing 10th in yesterday's first race, Emerson Fittipaldi Jr. finds himself where he deserves to be and has deserved to be all season long, at the very front of the grid. The drivers are just out on the circuit now doing their reconnaissance laps. Very important to make sure they get the tyres and the brakes dialed in, especially for this early part of the race. In reverse grids, we always get a few drivers mixing it up in a very tough battle out in the early stages. But we've had very few safety cars in Formula Regional Middle East this year. Our man here has had it very, very easy going over the course of this weekend. Whether we've been in Dubai or in Yas Marina, the safety car has barely done any mileage in Formula Regional Middle East this year. Very pleasant to see and a nice change. Our drivers are making their way to the grid, and here comes the man himself, Emerson Fittipaldi Jr., ready to rock up on the very front of the starting grid. Awesome to see that he gets to start this penultimate race of the season from the front, exactly where he deserves to be. And as a result of that, I'm going to take you to come and meet somebody very special. As you would imagine, with Emerson Fittipaldi Jr. being on pole position, we have to speak to the man who's put him where he is. Two-time Formula One world champion, Indy 500 winner, Emerson Fittipaldi. That is more like it. This is where we wanted him to be.
Well, Amos had made a big improvement from race to race. Now, we start to impose a tremendous pressure, but that's why we're here learning, It's a tremendous pressure to start with great drivers just behind, very experienced, and, we hope he can do well, takes the pressure, and finish around the race. We're looking for, if he can have a podium, it'd be fantastic.
Heading into last night, him knowing that he was finally going to get to start the race from the front of the grid, how big a difference has this made to his confidence, his approach, his demeanor?
Yesterday he was very confident, the whole race consistent. The car is good, should be good. I hope the tires will be well balanced because changed the weather. Today is a little cooler. The circumstances are different from yesterday. But if he keeps his consistent, should do a good race.
And with the championship fight over, it's just an all-out thrash. Everybody can have some fun, and hopefully we'll really get to see what Emo can do.
I hope so, and God bless him. God's going to help him today.
Perfect. We wish you all the very best for this one. Have a good one.
Thank you.
Always such an amazing opportunity when you've got people like that in the paddock to bounce off of and swap stories with. It's always wonderful. So the Fittipaldi family definitely hoping for their first win of the year. Taz Interfevazak, second on the grid. He's had some amazing performances so far in the 2024 season. Looks like he could be going for his first win, but there is a man who's going to be stopping him. Taylor Barnard, championship contender right the way down to the end of the season. Could be fascinating to see what he can produce from that third position on the starting grid. Also, Mari Boyer there in fourth place. There is still a battle going on in the championship, and that's for third place in the driver's standings. Mari Boyer is part of that fight, as too is James Wharton, the Australian for the Mumbai Falcons, back here in fifth position on the grid. We're also going to have a good charge forward from Rafael Kamara. He's going to be one to keep an eye on as he tries to work forward. But James Wharton, the Australian, definitely hungry for some success in this one. Has a great chance from his position on the grid. What about Brando Badua? So close to the victory in yesterday's opener. He has a really good opportunity to continue that sort of fight forward from the front row of the grid. He'll also be starting towards the front end in race 3 later. So there's definitely a good chance for Brando to put on a good show. But Rafael Kamara, all of the fans back home in Brazil have 2 stars to root for now. Emo Fittipaldi Jr. and Rafael Kamara, who's hoping for third in the championship. Now, I've pointed out there are some amazing stories in this paddock, but one that's really taken a lot of the paddock's hearts is the man who has had to basically stop his season halfway through, get himself to hospital rather quickly, and then bounce back again. There's not many warriors in this paddock who have that same Rocky Balboa determination as Finley Green of the Pinnacle Motorsport team. In the heart of all of this championship fight and race-winning battles, I decided to catch up with him to see how he's been coping under the pressure of a comeback and appendicitis. Finley Green for Pinnacle Motorsport. As comebacks in motor racing go, this has been quite the adventure, hasn't it, for many different reasons?
Oh, massively, but very excited to be here, part of this amazing series. It's been a very challenging series so far, but we had a bit of a challenge. So the first series went well, first couple of weekends went well, and then I came here 2 weekends ago and unfortunately walked away on Friday with appendicitis, which was very painful on the Friday testing. And yeah, missed out on that weekend, which would have been very good times to get some good laps on my belt. But unfortunately, life happens, and I'm back here for the last weekend. Hopefully, it goes well.
You get a second chance at running at the Dubai Autodrome, but let's talk about the whole campaign. It's been a very difficult race championship for you to come into, jumping straight back into a single-seater and into Formula Regional after 5 years out of the car. How big a challenge has it been?
Massive, huge challenge. But I mean, when I did juniors, it went well. It was a bit the first year of my career there. It was a very challenging year, but we, in the second year of my junior career, it was a lot better. We made a lot of progress. So hopefully, I mean, in life you've got to make challenges to be able to succeed in life. So hopefully, it's a big challenge, but hopefully we come out maybe, at the end of this year, learning a lot, keep that progress making, and hopefully, it's all for everyone. It's all about that process in the career and development, and in terms of the driver, and keep that fitness going. Like again, I've got a good teammate, Mari Boyer, who's doing very well in this series. So gathering as much data and much video as possible to try and hopefully go into Euro Cup 3 this year with again a bit more experience than I came into this series with. And again, it's all about that experience. So building every single time I got in the car. So yeah.
It very much comes back to your character as well. If you do something, you don't do things by halves.
Absolutely not. But in life, you can't not. So I mean, you get one life, so you might as well make it happen.
Now, this car could not be any more different to a Ginetta. This has downforce, it has very heavy steering, it's really difficult to get on top of tyres. What have you learnt the most over these 5-6 weeks?
Absolutely. I mean, I went for Ginetta Juniors to, I did about 2 days in their full car when I was about maybe 14, 15. Loved it. My dad was very keen for me to go racing, but I thought GTs was the way forward. But I took 5 years out of sport after I had a big accident in Donington Park, which my mum was a bit scared of me getting back out. So I took 5 years out then. But I mean, if there's any time to go back single-seater racing, it's starting fresh when I haven't done any racing for a long time. But I mean, we've done a bit of testing. It's been very challenging. But in life, I love the challenge. So we thought we'd come here, do a bit of get that experience on my belt, and it's paid off. And unfortunately, it was about appendicitis, so I missed out on the weekend. But we're here and we're ready to go.
So clearly, as the new Rocky Balboa of motorsport, we've got to ask, what's the next challenge? What are we going on to next?
So we're looking potentially at Euro Cup 3 this year. Obviously, FRECA has been a very challenging series so far, and I like the challenge. But I think we spoke to Mary Boy, who did Euro Cup 3 last year, and he said it was a lot more similar to the FIA 3 car. So I think the budget's better as well, like the money side is better, and yeah, we'll see what happens there. But it's looking, Euro Cup 3 is looking very promising for us.
But looking back over the whole experience of these 6 weeks in the UAE with the Formula Regional Middle East Championship, what are the resounding memories you're going to take from it?
There's quite a few, I think. I mean, getting in the car, doing some racing in a single seat, which I've never done before. Turning away, going to emergency, having an emergency operation, been a big one. But again, just experience has been a huge challenge for me. Like coming into having done 5 years of racing, then coming back and being with the top lads who have done racing since they were 6 years old, 7 years old. So it's been a big challenge, but I love the challenge. So it keeps a smile on my face. So I'm very happy.
A lot of people have been really inspired by your comeback, including me, and we hope that 2024 is going to continue to be aspirational and positive. Good luck.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Check out the air temperature. Feels like 26 degrees Celsius out there at the moment. Partly cloudy. It doesn't look like it's going to rain at any point. We certainly don't have any predicted. But what a chance for Emerson Fittipaldi Jr., the youngster from Brazil, with an opportunity knocking here alongside Taz Intervivazak on the front row of the starting grid. We're about to start the formation lap, and then we'll see if MP Motorsport can pull off their second win of the season. Nikhil Bora pulling off a reverse grid victory earlier in the year, and it would be wonderful to see if Emerson Fittipaldi Jr. can emulate that from the front end of the grid. And of course, we heard earlier on the grid from the two-time Formula One world champion and Indy 500 and IndyCar champion, Emerson Fittipaldi Sr. There's a lot riding on this one for them. It's a good way to start the 2024 campaign. Obviously, he'll be moving on to FRECA, the Formula Regional European Championship by Alpine later on in the year. And it's a big moment for them to try and galvanise this. The championship fight may be over, but this racing season certainly isn't. And watch out for the PHM AIX boys in 2nd, 3rd and 6th on the grid. They would love to completely eclipse a podium before the season is out. They've come very close a couple of times. Taylor Barnard still motivated in 3rd position, even though the championship is lost. But his 2nd position is still very much intact. And that will give him enough super license points to be a Formula One accredited driver before he even turns a wheel in Formula 2 in anger in the racing season. That's really exciting for him. There's a lot to talk about here, so let's go through the grid. Emerson Fittipaldi Jr., pole position. Tazanapol Interfivazak 2nd on the grid. Taylor Barnard and Mari Boyer separating the battle in position. 3rd and 4th on the grid, Formula 2 and Formula 3 driver respectively. James Wharton, the Australian, in 5th on the grid from Brando Badua, the Italian. Rafael Kamara, 7th on the grid alongside Ugo Ugachukwu, the American from New York City. Zachary David, 9th position for Malta, and the new champion, Tukka Tapanen, starting P10 after winning yesterday, and reverse grid, 10th position for him. Kanato lead, narrowly missing out on points yesterday. The British-Japanese, 11th on the grid. Enzo Peugeot, the Frenchman, lining up 12th on the grid. Great race from him yesterday too. Jesse Katashkeda, the Mexican, alongside the Australian Costa Tapares. Then Alex Abkasava and Jose Garcias, the Kazakhstani and the Mexican. Luduki, Chinese driver, alongside the British driver John Bennett. Then Giovanni Maschio, the Italian, alongside China's Gao Yujia. Isaac Barashi, alongside Yaroslav Vezalaho. Then Edgar Pierre and Wang Chongwei. Bruno Del Pino all the way down in 25th after problems yesterday. Noah Lyle also having a struggle and down in 26th on the grid. Nikhil Bora, Finley Green, and the Frenchman Théophile Nal finish off the grid. This is going to be a really enticing race up at the front. With the championship already decided in the Formula Regional Middle East Championship, this essentially comes down to an exceptional performance from the competitors that are still here up at the sharp end of the field. It's essentially bragging rights now for these last 2 races of the year. So it really will be absolutely sensational to see how it all continues. So let's see how it all carries on in close proximity. There is Rafael Kamara and Ugo Ugochukwu, both part of Formula One junior programs, by the way. Rafael Kamara is part of the Ferrari Racing Driver Academy, and Ugo Ugochukwu from New York is in the McLaren Young Driver program, a big talent for the future, especially when you consider that America is really starting to wake up to the world of Formula One. There could be a few decent stars from the nation getting into Formula One. We already currently have Logan Sargent, but with the likes of Ugo Ugochukwu and Alex Powell on the march, it might not be long before we have several American superstars in Formula One in the years to come. But to the race in order in front of us now. Formula Regional Middle East Championship, race 2, round 5. The conclusion of the championship. These 2 races are just going to be an out-and-out thrash. It's bragging rights, it's a chance to show what you can do when the pressure is off. Everybody will be going for glory in this one. Some will be on used tyres, some will be on box-fresh tyres, depending on what they can get out of race 2 compared to race 3. It's going to be a great challenge to see who is going to use this in the best possible opportunity. Emerson Fittipaldi Jr. in the orange and black MP Motorsport to the right of your screen, pole position, second on the grid in the gold and green PHM AIX machine. Tazanapol Intrafuvazak from Thailand. On the second row of the grid, Taylor Barnard will be on the right, and on the left will be Mari Boyer in the black and red Pinnacle Motorsport car. This is going to be quite an exciting race, with the championship decided in favour of Tuukka Tarponen. Now it's just about who has got what it takes. When the pressure's off, the chips are down, and the lights go out. It's going to be a fascinating race here in Dubai Autodrome as we get the green flag at the back of the field, and our 29 drivers are going to be charging to turn 1 here at the Dubai Autodrome for the penultimate time in 2024. Formula Regional Middle East is about to get underway. Let's race in Dubai! And it's a terrific start for the front of the grid for Fittipaldi. He's made a perfect launch. Intrafuvazak and Barnard have gone well. Intrafuvazak's gone better than Fittipaldi. He's actually going to out-drag him to the first corner. Wheel spin for Taylor Barnard. Not what he needed. He's actually going to have to fend off Brandon Badoa as Intrafuvazak takes the lead into turn 1. Great start from the PHM AIX Thai. He's done a terrific job as the rest of the field works its way through. Looks like there's problems for Wang Xiongwei as he drops to the back of the field for R&B, but everybody else has mixed it through the first few corners in perfect style as Taz Intrafuvazak has come through to take the lead on the start in front of Emo Jr. And then in third place it is Mari Boyer. The Spaniard has broken through. So it looks like the even side of the grid has had a much better run of it than the odd side of the grid. As that looked to me like Ugochukwu and Wharton having a nice little battle on the first lap. No, it was Kamara, my apologies. Kamara mixing it there with Ugochukwu as they come onto the back straight. And it's a great start from Taz Intrafuvazak. Oh, of course, sorts of chaos in the background. Carnage. Absolute pandemonium. And into the wall has gone Isaac Barashi, that's Yaroslav Vezalaho, and that's Edgar Pierre in there as well. I think there were 3 or 4 cars trying to take avoiding action, but this could bring out the safety car quite easily here. Edgar Pierre looks like he's not moving, and certainly Barashi's in the wall. Let's have a look. Triggered in the middle, you can see the car's already spinning. It's one of the Race GP cars that's gone around. I think that is Zachary David, actually. So Zachary David's at a spin. No, sorry, it's Gao Yuchia in the R&B car, my apologies. So everybody else had to take avoiding action, but Goa Yujia had spun the car. Looks like one of the Pinnacles running over the running over the front wing of Isaac Barashi there as well. So Barashi's in the wall, and we have almost certainly going to be under safety car conditions by the time they come around again. And the number 2 has been reported to the stewards for a possible jump start. Safety car, safety car. So safety car has been called, so we're going to have to sort out the positions. Try not to make any overtakes now that we're under safety car, gentlemen, because that really will hamper your progress. Safety car boards are out, but the number 2 has been reported to the stewards for a possible jump start. That is Jesse Carrasquedo for the Race GP team. So that would be a disaster if that's the case. We'd have to have a look at the start again with Jesse in position to have an assessment of it. But yes, several drivers caught up in that first lap incident. Gao Yuchia, Isaac Barashi, Edgar Pierre and Yaroslav Vezalaho all caught up in it. And certainly Barashi and Pierre stationary at the side of the road. I'm not sure if Ezalaho was able to come through again or not. I think Gol-Yuchia is going to have to come back into the pits to replace the damage. We don't really know how that incident started. We only know how the chain reaction followed on. But certainly Gol-Yuchia, the Chinese driver, was facing in the wrong direction. So definite problems, as Leo Barden points out. Motor racing skittles is essentially what we had at the back of the field, and he's absolutely spot on. So a very tricky scenario there for all of the contenders. But it's definitely going to be a very tricky race restart here. We don't get many safety cars in Formula Regional Middle East in 2024. So by the look of it, everybody appears to be all right. That's the main thing. I don't think there are any major issues. Edgar Pierre and Gol-Yuchia have managed to bring their cars back to the pits, potentially to fix them, potentially to retire. Isaac Barashi is okay. I saw him chatting with the marshals at one point, so that's fine. And Yaroslav Ezalaho has parked the car with damage. Let's have a look and see how things. Oh, it actually looks as if Isaac Barashi has actually moved his car, so he's actually got it going again. Well, let's have a look and see what happened. This is where it started. Now look in the midfield to the left of your screen. That's where the conflagration is. Somebody nudges Gol-Yuchia. I think it's one of the Evans GP cars. It's 4 cars into too small a space, pitches around Gol-Yuchia, so it's not the Chinese driver's fault at all. He then tangles in with Pierre and Yaroslav Ezalaho, and basically everyone in that 4-line battle gets pitched around. Everyone else was very lucky to get out of the way. So basically, it was the combination of the XL and the Evans that tagged the R&B of Gol-Yuchia into the spin. Yuchia spins, tags back into Pierre, who tags into Ezalaho, who tags into Barashi. It was a chain reaction, nothing they can do about it. And incredibly, the safety car is coming in at the end of this lap. So we are going to go for a fresh restart straight away. I thought that was going to take a while, but no. The safety team here at Dubai Autodrome is absolutely brilliant. They are so fast at getting these things cleaned up. So now we can go racing. So Taz in the Vivazak's going to back up the pack. Emerson Fittipaldi Jr. second, Mari Boyer third, Brando Badua fourth, Taylor Barnard fifth from Ogachukwu, Tapunen up to seventh already. Wharton, David, Peugeot, Lee, Garfias, Kamara and Carrasquedo. So Rafael Kamara's had a terrible start, all the way down to 13th for him. So when is Taz in the Vivazak going to drop the hammer? It's up to him. He's the leader. He effectively becomes the safety car once the safety car peels in. Now he's gone for it. Now he's dropped the hammer into the final turn. So this is going to be a very competitive restart as they come onto the main straight again. Taz in the Vivazak will lead the way from Fittipaldi Jr. as it's green, 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 green here at Dubai. Fittipaldi is already setting off after the tie. As Taz in the Vivazak goes for it. In the background, you've got Jesse Carrasquedo battling with Alex Abkasava. And up to the first corner, Badua already fancies his chances on Mari Boyer. And here comes the bid from Kamara to get through on Garfias. Lovely move from the Brazilian. Up into P12 he goes. So Rafael Kamara already bouncing back. Good work from the Ferrari Junior. So Rafa Kamara doing a superb job. The Brazilian looking strong. And there is a penalty being given to Jesse Carrasquedo. 10 seconds for a jump start. So it was clear that the officials felt it was worthy of investigation and worthy of a penalty. So poor Jesse Carrasquedo, who's currently in 14th, going wheel to wheel with Rafael Kamara. That is actually the 19 that is battling away. That is Kanato Lee, and both drivers run out of road. That is Wharton and Lee, I do believe. So Wharton's had a bit of a tricky restart. But look at Taz in the Vivazak having to battle with Fittipaldi and Boyer. And now the teammates at PHMAX are going to battle. Nothing left to worry about in terms of the championship. So they're dueling. There's Zachary David behind Tukka Tapanen, and up the inside, that's Kanato Lee, pulling off a double move, I think, to get up alongside Zachary David and Jose Garfias. So some good work there. And it's still ongoing. Kanato Lee has had to filter in behind Garfias, but he still has an opportunity on the inside of him. Leave enough room, leave enough room. That's well done. Very nicely handled from the drivers. So Vivazak still leads the way here from Fittipaldi, then Boyer, Badua, Barnard, Ogachukwu, Tapanen, Wharton, David and Onzo Peugeot doing a great job in the top 10. Looking good for points at the moment as the field works its way through. Still charging away. Into Vivazak and Fittipaldi, battling away. Boyer, Badua, Barnard and Ogachukwu. Rafael Kamara tucks up behind Kanato Lee, goes wide on the final turn. And will have to dial in the move again. So there is Interfivazak leading. Watch Mari Boyer in third as he now tries to take on Fittipaldi Jr. Look at the wobble as they go into the first corner. That is going to be the tyre degradation. So immediately, we talked about this yesterday in race 1. The tyre degradation here is more intense than it has been for the entire 4 rounds previously, including 2 weeks ago here in Dubai, because the air temperature has skyrocketed. It's close to 31, 32 degrees Celsius this weekend. And as a result, the track is an inferno and the tyres are basically like marshmallows on s'mores. They are just melting big time. And there's no grip, there's no traction compared to what the drivers are used to. So it all becomes about feel. As running wide, that is Enzo Peugeot, I think, going wide. No, it's Garfias, my apologies. And that's going to be enough for Carrasquedo, who's got a 10-second penalty for jumping the start, unfortunately. Oh, no, wait, that's Canato Lee, my apologies. So Canato Lee having it. Right, Marty Boyer is going to attack Fittipaldi Jr. Here he goes, and that is enough for P2. Great run from Boyer. But Boyer is still having to work hard to keep Fittipaldi back. And that's enough. Mari Boyer has managed to seal the deal there in front of Emerson Fittipaldi Jr. Now here comes Taylor Barnard, who's got past his teammate Badua. Don't tell me he's going to run right round the outside. Taylor Barnard is one of the best at this at the best of times, but surely he bails out of it. Oh my goodness, Taylor Barnard was almost going to pull off the move of the century then. You cannot go around the outside while someone's going very wide enough to kick up the sand. So now Barnard is going to try again here on Fittipaldi, and Brando Badua, another son of a Formula 1 driver, he's waiting in the wings here in 5th position. So Fittipaldi Jr. 3rd, Barnard 4th, now in Formula 2 in 2024, of course, with PHM AIX, teammates to the Paraguayan Joshua Dirksen. And then in 5th place, it is Badua in front of Ugan Chukwu, the young New Yorker. Oh, and that's problems. Well, that's game over for Alex Abkasava and for Ludoki. So they have tangled. That looks like it could be at the very end of the lap, actually. And that is run onto the inside line from Zachary David. Gets the run on James Wharton. Just to hold off the position for the time being. Wharton is swamming around all over the back of him. Isn't it amazing? You barely get any safety cars, and then as soon as the championship is over, it suddenly kicks off again. I don't know whether that's going to be a safety car or not, or whether the two drivers can get away with it, but certainly Abkasava and Liu are in trouble. And I noticed that Noah Lyle hasn't come around either. So Noah Lyle has had some problems. So I actually think it could be 3 of them involved in the incident rather than 2. Either that or Noah Lyle has been involved in a separate incident. The extraction vehicle seems to be on the move. Whoa, big washout there from one of the Mumbai Falcons. I think that's Rafael Kamara in 11th behind Enzo Peugeot. Interfivazak is pulling away though. Safety car board is out again. Safety car board is out on track once more. So for the second time in this race, we had safety car. There you go, I jinxed it. I said to the safety car driver when we were on the starting grid, just before we went to air, you weren't needed this morning, mate. You can have a nice lie down. I'm so sorry, I jinxed it. Well, fascinating situation then, as the competitors are going to have another opportunity to reset. So let's see how things are going to continue to progress now as we go to safety car. Now, I don't really know what happened between Abkasava and Ludoki. Noah Lyle has made it back to the pits, by the way, to, I can only guess, repair damage. Whether it's to retire or not, we don't know. I think he has left the pits again, Noah Lyle, so hopefully that means he will be obviously able to finish the race, but certainly with damage to the car that needed to be repaired. The extraction vehicles are going out on the circuit. Now, where is the incident? Is it up at the final turn? I thought it might have been. But it would be good to see what the incident is and where it occurred. So, an interesting situation for the contenders. So, here's Fittipaldi, Boyer, Fittipaldi, Barnard and Badua. Top 5. Incidents are already being cleared pretty quickly. So this is technically, there is the incident. You can see both drivers are out of the car, so that's good news. So they're all okay. As long as they've left their steering wheels in the car, which I can see they have, then it should be fairly quick to manoeuvre. And the Marshall team that we've got here at Dubai Autodrome, as it was at Yas Marina, are very slick, very professional. They've got good at this now over the last 20 years at Dubai Autodrome. Amazing to think, isn't it, that 2024 is the year that the Dubai Autodrome celebrates its 20th anniversary. It opened in October 2004. And of course, the mission was to put on some of the greatest races in the world of motorsport. I think the only thing that hasn't really been here in the past is the Formula One World Championship, and Formula One cars have been here because, of course, each year for the last 3 we've had the historic Dubai Grand Prix revival, and that's one of the best events that you can possibly come to at the end of December each year, or beginning of December each year, I should say. The first of those was back in 2021. And my co-commentator during yesterday's race, Ollie Webb, actually became the first driver to win a race on the Dubai Autodrome in a Formula One car when he took James Hunt's original Hesketh that won the 1975 Dutch Grand Prix at Zandvoort to victory in that particular encounter. So this circuit has seen quite a lot of amazing battles over the years in many different forms of racing. Sports cars, touring cars, GTs, obviously single-seaters as well. GB2 Asia came here many years ago. So it really has been an amazing 2 decades of motor racing in the Gulf for this fantastic circuit. Opened in the same year as the Sakhir circuit in Bahrain. And racing here really has been phenomenal. And this is one of the very few circuits in the world of motorsport that I have had the pleasure of not only being driven around at full speed, but also driving in the past as well. It is a fantastic race circuit, and what a sensational place it is. Very fitting location to end the season. So let's see how to go. I love the fact that Ken Heathcote is still trying to defend my honour here. I love that. He says 1 time it's okay, 2 times it's coincidence, but if we get a 3rd safety car, we'll know certainly that you've well and truly jinxed it. Thanks for keeping tabs, Ken. Sometimes we all need someone looking over our shoulder. So hopefully this is going to be safety car in this lap, because it was fairly quick for the drivers to leave the cars, and even quicker for the extraction team to be on the scene. And they are mighty fast here at Dubai Autodrome. They never really keep us held up for long. And of course, this is technically the first lap behind the safety car, because the safety car was called midway round a racing lap. I think we're going to have a 2nd lap, just because there's 2 cars in the same place, and trying to extract 2 cars in that position is just a little bit more awkward than 1. So we'll have another lap behind the safety car, which means we're probably going to have a 10-minute dash to the flag from here on out. Let's talk you through the order as we build up to that. Tazanapol Intrafavazak from Thailand is going to be in 1st position on the restart. 2nd is going to be the Spaniard Mari Boya. 3rd for Emerson Fittipaldi Jr. 4th is Taylor Barnard. 5th is Brando Badua. And then it is Tukka Tarpanen in 6th place. He really is trying to charge his way back to another podium. I think he wants to make sure that at baggage check-in on the flight home to Finland, he's going to have absolutely no excess baggage left. He's going to have more trophies than he is underwear by the time he's finished this weekend. And I happen to know for a fact that his hometown in Finland has already prepared the town square on Monday for him to have the most amazing town party tomorrow in Finland. I really, really wish I could get on a plane to Finland this evening and go and be part of that, because I have a feeling that's going to be the best European party you'll ever go to. It'll be very cool indeed to see how that all finishes up for him, but of course it'll be just a nice galvanisation for the rest of the season. So continuing on with the Formula Regional Middle East Championship, race 2, round 5. 2 races to go in the championship, including this one, of course. And it'll be really exciting to see how it continues. So Taz Intrafavazak, Mari Boya, and Emerson Fittipaldi Jr. It's interesting, someone says he's probably flying back home to Maranello, where he currently lives. I have been reliably informed he's going to make a quick stop in Finland first and then go to Italy. He wants to be part of that moment. Who wouldn't? Who wouldn't want to be part of that celebration? Safety car in at the end of this lap. Here we go. Back into the race action we will go this time. And with 11 minutes and 25 seconds left on the clock, it's going to be a real dash to the flag. But it's definitely going to help that we've had 2 safety car periods, because the tyres won't be quite as worn out as they were at the end of race 1 yesterday. So a few drivers will have a little bit more confidence in the tyres in race 2 than they did in race 1, just because they won't have been stretched to quite the same level. So it's definitely going to be an interesting situation for the drivers to see how they're going to finish things up. But let's see when Taz Intrafavazak goes for glory on this restart, with Boya now in 2nd, Fittipaldi Jr. now in 3rd, from Barnard and Badua. The order is different from the previous start. So let's see how it continues on. So Mari Boya in behind Taz Intrafavazak. Let's see if we're going to get a restart of the ages. Mari Boya is very close in behind Taz Intrafavazak. And so the Thai has got to be very careful as to where he gets this restart. He is backing them up. This is going to be a very intriguing start. One driver actually having to go off the road to avoid the conflagration. Out of the final turn now with Vuvuzak nails the throttle. Here we go. This is going to be a very tough restart. Boyer, Fittipaldi, Barnard, Padua, Tappanen all want to be part of it. It's green, 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 and off we go. Marty Boyer tucks in behind the rear wing of Tazin de Vuvuzak, who's trying to throw the toe. They come off onto the main start straight, down the dip, bottom of the crest, into that corner, brake, turn in, carry the radius right as close to the curb as possible. This is going to be a tough move onto the inside of Zachary David. I thought Enzo Peugeot was going to get that move finished up. He has to bail out of it in the end, so close to contact. They were able to avoid it. And apparently the incident at turn 9 on the opening lap between Messrs. Vesalajo, Barashi, Pierre and Gao is going to be investigated after the race. So they'll have to figure out who did what to who. The rest of the field is just trying to mix it on the opening lap of this third start in the hope that they can gain some advantage. But into Vuvuzak leads, Boyer second, Fittipaldi, Barnard, Padua, Tappanen, Ugachukwu, Wharton, David, Peugeot, Kamara, Kanato Lee, Costa Taparis, Teofil Nal is all the way up in 14th, by the way. He started 29th. So he's already in 14th. That is astonishing from Teofil Nal as Barnard goes long, trying to go round the outside of Fittipaldi. As meanwhile, we've got Garfias, this is Peugeot and Lee renewing their battle from yesterday. And off onto the sand goes Enzo Peugeot, and he's lost 2 places as a result of that. One of them is to Kamara. The other one appears to be for Kanato Lee, I do believe. So Ugachukwu still hustling behind his teammate as James Wharton has managed to get through. James Wharton, formerly of the Ferrari Drivers Academy, no longer. Now let's have a look at a replay of what's gone on in the background. As off the road goes one of the Santa Locks. Goodness me, almost launched for infinity and beyond there. 2 wheels on the deck and 2 in the air. Very scary moment on the restart. And look at Emerson Fittipaldi Jr., he's really struggling for tyres. He's going to lose more positions. Padua is now going to get through after Barnard has already done the deed. There's just no pace in this MP car at all. You've got to hope that when they go back to Europe and they get back to their home environment, the Dutch team, MP Motorsport, are going to be able to have the tools to get the job done again as Emerson Fittipaldi Jr. goes long on the brakes, trying to go back round the outside of Padua. 2 Formula 1 names, mixing it wheel to wheel. Last time the names Padua and Fittipaldi shared a Formula 1 grid would have been back in 1993 when Christian Fittipaldi and Luca Padua were on the same starting grid in the Australian Grand Prix in 93, 31 years ago. So there is Tuka Tappanen now trying to make his move on Brando Padua. And considering how confident he is, he's just going to storm in. Tuka, don't break the car. Goodness me. He's got no pressure. He's already become champion. So he may as well just go for it and show what he can do when there's no pressure on him. Epic racing so far. And poor Emerson Fittipaldi Jr. has tumbled all the way back now. So he's down in about 8th position, I think. 9th, actually, behind Zachary David. It's all gone wrong for him, sadly, as Tappanen now tries to go after 4th position to take on Brando Padua. 7 minutes left on the clock. And Captain Tappanen get himself into 4th position from P10. This once again demonstrates just how worthy a champion he has become. But it's Tazanapol in the Vuvuzak who leads, Marty Boyer in 2nd, and Taylor Barnard in 3rd. It will be 3 very different drivers on the podium compared to race 1 yesterday. But it will be very deserving indeed for all 3 of them as Brando Padua sets a personal best time the last time around, a 1:58.7. And look at how close Marty Boyer is to Tazin de Vuvuzak. He wants to go for the victory. This is a really exciting battle for the win now. Boyer goes a little wide. And PHM AIX are 1, 3 and 4. They have a genuine chance to eclipse the podium here. And that really would make the guys back in Germany very, very happy indeed. Of course, they've also signed their fantastic deal with the AIX investment group, which of course is based on about floor 123 or something of the Burj Khalifa here in Dubai. Up to the inside line, that is Tuka Tappanen, fending off from James Wharton. No, you don't. The 2 of them renewing their battle from last year in the F4 UAE Championship. They actually collided with each other in the final race of the year at Yas Marina, but on that occasion, the title went the way of James Wharton. Now Tuka Tappanen is already the champion, and he's sorted out James Wharton to amazing how fast the rate of development is for certain drivers in certain cars, in certain teams, in certain disciplines, in certain situations. But certainly last year, Wharton had the upper hand on Tarpanen. This year, it looks as though the pendulum has swung in a completely different direction. So really good work so far. An excellent display at the moment. Still, Mari Boyer hustling Taz into Vivazak. Thought he was going for the move. Certainly wanted to make in for Vivazak, think he was. Tarpanen currently defending to cover Wharton. Down to the hairpin. Mari Boyer is absolutely pushing. And the car number 8 is reported to the stewards for not respecting the road instruction at turns 1 and 2. That is Rafael Camara. The pressure of fighting for third in the championship could well be getting to the Brazilian, especially now that Mari Boyer is in P2. That's going to be a big points haul for the Spaniard, who wants to finish this season as best of the rest, behind Tuka Tarpanen and Taylor Barnard. So how is it all going to finish up? There is Taz in the Vivazak going long through the hairpin. Mari Boyer tightening up the radius, looking for a chance to go underneath him. Can he get the inside line? 4.5 minutes left. And still, Mari Boyer pushing Taz into Vivazak all the way. This is a good opportunity to see what the racecraft is like between these two. And don't forget, you're going to see both of these boys in action in Formula 3 this year. And the man behind them, you're going to see in Formula 2. Down the straight. Mari Boyer's got a really good slipstream here on into Vivazak, and the Thai knows it. Mari Boyer's going to try. Looks one way, looks the other. Decides to go slow in and fast out in the hope that Vivazak's going to go on the curb, which he does. Mari Boyer's now going to have the momentum, but will he have the track position? Taylor Barnard sat in third position, needs to stay hungry here. He may get a chance to make a move of his own. To the right. Tightens up. A couple of different racing lines chosen by the drivers there. Perhaps by habit, perhaps not quite by choice. The crosswinds added to the high temperatures, added to the sandy nature of this circuit, definitely making it tough. Vivazak trying not to over-wheel spin the car through the left-hander, which climbs in camber as they come onto the back straight. And he is a sitting target for Mari Boyer in the slipstream here. He's got to be very calculated as to where he places the car in the braking zone. Does Boyer go for it? And Vivazak makes sure that there's not going to be a line up the inside line, but Boyer can drive out of the turn. They're really struggling for traction, and as a result, Boyer gets a slightly faster run off the hairpin. But Vivazak places the car perfectly. He's married to the white line on the inside line. Barnard is going to try and undercut them both out of the hairpin. Slow in, fast out. Barnard is close, and so too now is Brandon Badoa. And Tuka Tarpanen's not far away in 5th. This is terrific racing with only 2 minutes and 40 on the clock. Vivazak, side by side. Boyer's going to try and go the long way round. That won't work. Is there enough of an undercut for Barnard? Not quite. They are really struggling to get these cars to turn in. The wheel spin and the aggression of the sand on the road is going to make it very tricky from here on. Boyer now going to try and go the long way round. Can he go right round the outside of Vivazak? No, the tyre places him wide. That's enough for Barnard to get the switcheroo. Now they're going to be up against the wall. Barnard takes the slipstream from his teammate, and Badua takes the slipstream from Boyer. It's like a Hollywood film right now. Barnard's going to try and get them both. Surely Barnard can have the inside line. Boyer around the outside takes the lead from Barnard. Can Barnard take the lead? Boyer drifts out wide. He's got no choice. He has to run deep, and Barnard gets the lead. Absolutely brilliant. Taylor Barnard snatches the lead in fantastic fashion. Now, can Vivazak get himself back in a second? And if Badua can move through, Tarpanen slices on the inside of Badua. That is bravery unbound from Tuka Tarpanen. He loses a place and gains a place. So Wharton slips through into 4th, and Brandon Badua loses ground. Oh my goodness. Tuka the Tiger absolutely pouncing. It didn't work out on that occasion, and I think Brandon Badua has gone. He's absolutely gone from the fray here. And he's dropped a long way back as a result. Wharton trying to hold off Tarpanen. As round the outside comes Ugachukwu. Beautiful move from Ugachukwu. On the outside of Tuka Tarpanen. Absolutely magic from the New Yorker. That was stunning round the outside. Just when you think you've seen the best of these guys, they deliver something special. And Ugachukwu really has dug deep there. Tarpanen tried to get him back. No chance. Ugachukwu on the bandwagon, and such a move. Superb. Now he's going to try and take on James Wharton. Let's have a replay. Now, this is what happened to Brandon Badua. Tarpanen's obviously made his move on the inside, and Badua's had to skate out wide. And that's what happened. On the sand, it's an ice rink. He's gone pure Torvalandine. What a shame. Poor Brandon Badua. It was looking like it could have been a clean sweep of the podium for PHM AIX at one point. But Taylor Barnard is in the lead going into what is now going to be the penultimate lap, because we've only got 10 seconds left on the clock. And Mari Boya will try his best to take on Taylor Barnard. Barnard, Formula 2 driver, versus Mari Boya, Formula 3 driver. Taz in the Vuvuzak, Formula 3 driver in third. And James Wharton, Freca star of 2024 incoming, in fourth position ahead of Ugo Chukwu, one of the moves of the weekend, up in fifth place around the outside of Tuukka Tarpanen. Then Zachary David, Emerson Fittipaldi Jr., just no pace in that MP car at all, and that's pretty much been the state of their season out in the Middle East. Hopefully when they get back to Europe, they'll go back to doing what they do best. Ninth place for Teofil Nile. Can we just point that out? Teofil Nile started this race in 29th, and he is now in 20th. Sorry, no, he's gone up 20 places, I should say. So Teofil Nile from 29th to 9th with 2 safety car periods. That is extraordinary from the Frenchman. And the final point looks like it's going to go the way of Rafael Camara. Just amazing. Just when we thought that Teofil Nile's form was going to fade completely, to make up 20 places in 25 minutes, plus 2 safety cars, that is just astonishing from Teofil Nile. So still they are going into position, having a really solid run, but it looks as though Taylor Barnard is going to get the job done here. And it will be a nice recompense after fighting tooth and nail to keep the championship alive as long as possible. He gave it everything he had, but second position is going to be secured in the championship fight with this race victory if he can hold on to it one more lap from Mari Boya. And let's not forget that he wanted to be either first or second in this championship, because by coming home in the top 2, he now will secure enough super license points to not test in Formula 1, race in Formula 1. It's a big moment for Taylor Barnard. So winning this race here in Dubai, he may not be champion, but he'll remember it for the rest of his career. It could just be the moment that Formula 1 teams decide, you know what, this British boy wonder is worth a punt. Poor Emerson Fittipaldi Jr. The team had just been on the back foot since the start of the year in Yas Marina, when the equipment hadn't all arrived yet at Yas Marina from that cargo crate that was stalled in the Red Sea after they had done their Indian motorsport program. You got a feel for them. Had that been okay from the start of the season, I think we would have seen the real MP Motorsport, the real team that we know as championship contenders, as championship winners. Hopefully when we return to Europe, they'll be back to their normal form. But this man, Taylor Barnard, you run out of superlatives for this man. Handed the chance to race in Formula 2 by PHM AIX on pure merit, not on money, on pure merit and ability. He is the reserve driver for the Neom McLaren Formula E team as well. They clearly feel he's got the talent for the future. Nico Rosberg picked this boy up in 2018 in his karting days and saw that there was a magical spark in this British boy. Ever since that point, superlatives are thin on the ground. They've just been all used about Taylor Barnard over the last few years. He's one of the nicest, friendliest, most charming young men in the paddock. And if there was ever a heartwarming story coming in, then you really want it to happen to Taylor Barnard. This win will be a nice compensatory prize. He's kept the title fight alive as long as possible. He's pushed every time he's had an opportunity. And the PHM AIX team can celebrate a win in the final weekend of the year after all. He started with a win. He'll end with a win. Taylor Barnard wins race 2 at Dubai. Brilliant drive, excellent performance, and amazing racecraft. That is what you can hope to look forward to this year when he moves to Formula 2. That's the kind of talent we're talking about. This boy has everything it takes. But it took 2 campaigns in Formula Regional Middle East to show the world what he can do in one of the toughest single-seater race cars on the planet to tame. Taylor Barnard has been the British bulldog that can show the world what he can do. A great drive, absolutely brilliant run here in Formula Regional Middle East, and a superb talent for the future. Great work from Marty Boyer in second place. He absolutely deserves that. Oh, hang on. I think we've got a 5-second penalty for Marty Boyer in second position. Yes, Marty Boyer, the 64, has been given a 5-second penalty. So Marty Boyer, who is due to be second, has been given a 5-second penalty according to my timing screen. So Marty Boyer will now drop. So Marty Boyer, a 5-second penalty as the flag comes down. And that means that Tazinder Fuvazak will be second, James Wharton will be third. Well, that is post-race drama. And you've got to feel for Marty Boyer. 5 seconds will drop him all the way to 7th position. That is disastrous. Well, the drama just keeps on coming here. Absolutely unbelievable. So Marty Boyer has a 5-second penalty. Oh, that is so unfortunate. He drove beautifully. Inter Fuvazak third, Wharton fourth, but they will elevate. Then Nugachukwu, Tapanen, David, Fittipaldi, Teofil Nile, a brilliant drive from 29th to 9th. That is extraordinary. And Rafael Kamara takes the final point in P10. Boyer will drop from 2nd to 7th with that penalty. Kanato Lee 11th and Enzo Peugeot 12th. Those two have been so impressive considering they joined the championship mid-season and they're mixing it against drivers who have been there since the start. Bora and Del Pino drove very well there to move up the order. Tabares 15th from Carrasquedo, Bennett, Garfias, Goa and Giovanni Mascio. Edgar Pierre, Finley Green, Wang Shongwei, Noah Lyle and Brandon Badua right at the back after his spin. He'll be miserable about that. In fact, he actually pulled it into the pits to retire. So Lyle, Badua, Abkasava, Liu, Vezalaho and Isaac Barashi, all retirements. But full credit to Taylor Barnard. What a performance. And look, James Wharton is moving into 3rd position. So they have already applied the penalty. Wharton will be 3rd. 2nd will be Tazinder Fuvazak. But the victor will be Taylor Barnard. So a very worthy podium for the Australian James Wharton. He deserves that. Great performance from the Mumbai Falcons driver this season. Never easy to step in as a rookie. He was the F4 UAE champion last year. And he's been a front runner all the way through the campaign. But for PHM AIX, they get a free leaving present from the UAE. They don't get a 1-3, they get a 1-2. And Taylor Barnard is the winner of the penultimate race of the season, and that's very justified. A brilliant driver in a brilliant team. There we go, Taylor Barnard, a fabulous victory. That more than makes up for the disappointment of yesterday. They say you're only ever as good as your last race. Well, he's just won his last race. There is another one to come, of course. And great work from Tazinder Fuvazak. So close to the win. So close to getting it done. Drove beautifully. Definitely deserved the plaudits. There he is with his driver coach, Callan O'Keefe, from the School of Send. A brilliant drive from Tazinder Fuvazak. So close to the win. But Taylor Barnard, his teammate, has pulled it off in fine style once again. There he is with Mikhail Aloshin, the former IndyCar driver, who is part of the PHM AIX run. But what a sensational performance it has been. Taylor Barnard, winner. That's a perfect tonic to go into the world of Formula 2. Very deserved indeed. That is a conversation about tyres, I'm sure. Tazinder Fuvazak doing everything he could to hang on to the victory. He looks so disappointed. He came so close to the win. But he'll still take silverware, and he can still be very proud of what he's done. A very, very worthy driver, Tazinder Fuvazak. And when we've already started talking about Alex Albon as a future Grand Prix winner, we've waited years for a successful Thai after Prince Bira all the way back in the 1950s. Now we've got a whole collection of Thai superstars building. Because not only do we have Alex Albon, we also have Tazinder Fuvazak, and in F4 in Spain this year, you'll also get Enzo Tarnvanitschkel, the former karting junior world champion. So, highlights to come. What a brilliant race. Ladies and gentlemen, a fabulous performance in the second race of the Formula Regional Middle East Championship, round 5, and what a brilliant podium. 3 very different faces we'll see on the podium this time here at the Dubai Autodrome. Let's welcome them out. In third position for Australia, James Wharton. Another great run to the podium and some fantastic silverware for the Mumbai Falcons racer. In second position for Thailand, Tazanapal Hintruvavazak. A great run for the superstar driver for PHM AIX, and it's a 1-2 for the team, because on the top step of the podium for the United Kingdom, Taylor Barnard. An excellent run for the F2-bound superstar. It'll be an epic run to the season to finish him off. It is my great honor to invite the General Manager of Dubai Autodrome, Mr. Faisal Abdullah Al-Salawi, who will present the trophies to our drivers. In third position for Australia and Mumbai Falcons Racing, James Wharton. And in second for Thailand and PHM AIX Racing, Tazanapal Hintruvavazak. And your race winner for the United Kingdom and PHM AIX Racing, Taylor Barnard. Finally, the Rookie Cup trophy, that goes the way of the Australian James Wharton. An epic performance from our contenders. They really have been exceptional here at the United Arab Emirates in the Dubai Autodrome. The circuit celebrating its 20th anniversary, and a fabulous showcase on the penultimate race of the Formula Regional Middle East Championship. Just one race to go now in both of our competitions, a championship decider and an absolute brawl in Formula Regional Middle East. Ladies and gentlemen, James Wharton, Taz Hintruvavazak, and your race winner, Taylor Barnard. I think it's a very good idea, sir, to move out of the podium on this point, because the drivers will want to celebrate. They'll have their top step of the podium photograph, and then a little bit of a party in the sunshine here in Dubai. We have great action still to come in F4 UAE and Formula Regional Middle East with one race left. And I think the boys are actually going to keep their suits dry. They don't want to get themselves wet when they've got one race still to go. So fair enough. I'm sure the party will be very exciting when we go racing again for the third and final race of the day. F4 UAE, the championship decider, is next up. 3 drivers in the fight for the title: Keanu Al-Azari, Freddie Slater, and Kian Nakamura-Berta. That is going to be the race of the season. And then, of course, we'll finish up here with Formula Regional Middle East very soon indeed. I hope you've enjoyed so far race 2. Race 3 in both championships should be even better.